And now for tonight's angle. The Trump administration takes the caravan to court. Well, no doubt you've heard about the caravan of illegal immigrants moving north through Mexico. Well, according to the New York Times, over 100 have already made it to the U.S. border. The caravan started out with more than 1,000 people and is now down to about 500 or so. Now, some of these migrants have told reporters that they plan to find ways to get across the U.S. border. Now, most of them are from Honduras, so many are expected to apply for asylum, supposedly to escape violence at home. Well, anticipating that, the Trump administration is sending additional ICE attorneys, Justice Department judges, and also prosecutors to make sure the caravan asylum cases will be, quote, adjudicated promptly. But we've also learned, this is curious, that American attorneys have traveled southward to meet with migrants to instruct them on their rights to apply for asylum here in the United States. We did some digging, and according to reports, two of these lawyers are Allegra Love of Santa Fe Dreamers Project and Marie Vincent, who also works for a small 501c3 organization. Vincent has said that many of the migrants are strong candidates for asylum because they're fleeing political persecution or violent gangs or threats over their gender or sexual orientation. But for asylum eligibility, according to Section 1208 of the Title 8 Code of Federal Regs, attorneys have to establish that their client has, quote, reasonable fear of persecution. And that is what Democrats and the media have been claiming, that these are political refugees escaping violence and, yes, persecution.
It's really more of anything a symbolic kind of PR move by the migrants who want to talk about and want to bring light to the lack of rule of law and the human rights violations that occur in Central America.
Every time the president gets in a political jam, anytime he's feeling threatened politically, he goes back to a few of the same things. Beating up on immigrants, Mexicans are criminals.
The picture President Trump paints is hordes of immigrants, many of them criminals, poised to storm the border. But the caravan, CNN found, is a very different scenario. We will take you live to meet the families, many women and children, waiting for their next move.
Well, their next move is to crash into our country. Well, the problem for the attorneys helping the members of the caravan could be the U.S. law, the code, Section 1324, of Title 8, which makes it an offense for any person who encourages or induces an alien to come to, enter, or reside in the United States, knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that such coming to, entry, or residence is or will be in violation of law. So the question is, when does advocacy for illegals end up crossing the line to committing a 1324 offense? Interesting legal question. Well, because of the attorney-client privilege, this could be tough to determine. But if these attorneys are holding what is being described as these large group seminars and demonstrate intent to skirt the laws or to help the migrants skirt the laws, well, they could be in jeopardy, at least technically. Here's the other problem for these lawyers. Most of the people in this caravan, as I said, are from Honduras. Well, a poll conducted by a Jesuit research group found a whopping 83% of Hondurans who are considering migrating to the United States were motivated by purely economic reasons. In other words, they simply wanted to move to a wealthier country with better economic opportunities. Only 11% said they wanted to leave due to violence and insecurity. So given that poll, immigration judges have to be really skeptical about these asylum claims. And if these claims, a lot of them are bogus, as I assume most of them are, well, what does that say about the attorneys themselves? Michael Cohen, Trump's personal attorney, remember he was called a fixer? Well, what would you call members of the American bar who arguably connive with their clients to thwart or get around U.S. immigration law, or at least game it? And how many of these migrants know exactly what to say to asylum judges? Well, Well, it's almost like when you hear this, they're almost working off of the same script. How would they all know to say the same thing? Well, the president is doing the right thing. He's heading the caravan off at the pass. This is what he tweeted yesterday. He said, I've instructed the Secretary of Homeland Security not to let these large caravans of people into our country. And another tweet wrote, Mexico, whose laws on immigration are very tough, must stop people from going through Mexico and into the United States. We may make this a condition of the new NAFTA agreement. Well, the plan is to detain any asylum seekers until their hearings. The others will be prosecuted for illegal entry, and I say good. Catch and release does not work. The Trump administration said they were ending it. It must be ended now. There can be no more catch and promise you'll show up for your asylum hearing because, as we know, and we've discussed this many times on The Angle, the vast majority of those asylum seekers never show up at their hearing. They just disappear into society. Trump is right to partner with Mexico to stop the flood of immigrants pouring through Mexico's southern border. Tying results to trade, I mean, it might be the only thing we can do. It might be a really good idea. And building the wall, my goodness, if you can't see that building the wall is more necessary than ever now, you must be blind. The president should also put Honduras on notice that this virtual invasion has to stop. It's not virtual, it's a real invasion. Even if that means things don't change, threatening to suspend foreign aid, which Honduras desperately needs. It would also help if we got our own house in order and stopped the abuse of asylum and the process of applying and facilitating it by American lawyers. More has to be done there. So-called asylum seekers all get their day in court. But for the American citizen, security and justice always seems delayed. And that's The Angle.